Yes, people, welcome back to another stream, and it is the Cricket World Cup Preview Part 1. And on Wednesday, we will have a special episode where we will do Part 2. Um, and yeah, it's, how many days? 3 days away. Today's basically over, so 2 days, could say. But going to preview this these five nations with me. Of course, Netherlands, Pakistan, Bangladesh, South Africa, and Australia. I am joined by Mr. DJ Sinclair. Ollie, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. Obviously, I'm sorry I couldn't make the last Off the Boundary stream. I was quite busy. I just came back from work. And I wasn't able to join, but it's good to be here. And obviously, not to spoil, but I think we're talking about England on Wednesday, so I'll try to find my England top. I'm wearing a Wales top at the moment because of the rugby, but yeah, big up for having me on. It's going to be a good stream, and big up for the guests joining soon as well.
Yeah, and then some people say that he was the reason Arsenal Arsenal um, also won the FA Cup in 2018. Others say he was the reason Mikel Arteta got the job. However, all I know is he is the one and only Manny.
I can assure you, Hannah, I had nothing to do with it. All I did was support the team. I was watching them on my mobile phone that day, and it was a good win. The only problem is it sort of kept Arteta in the job for a little bit too long, in my opinion. Or I don't want to talk much about him. This season's a watershed. That's all I'll say. But listen, we're here to talk some cricket. We've got some warm-up games. Obviously, the India-England game being washed out was a bit of a disappointment. I was looking forward to at least catching the highlights, if not watching that live. But I think obviously England did play today, and
and won.
Of course.
We won.
Also, not too shabby.
Yeah, and then
not too shabby, and yeah.
And then some say he bought the community stadium by himself. Others say he helped Ivan Toney with some bets. All I know, it's Mr. B.
Hello everyone. Big up, guys.
Big up.
How you doing? All right?
All good.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Let me vouch for you, Steve, by saying that you had no contact with Tony whatsoever.
No, I'm cleared of that, mate. I'm cleared of that, anyway. With the betting and that.
Let's get straight into it. Be up yourself, Chelsea fan.
You got Chelsea
Keep
fan.
hitting that like button. Yeah, do as you come in, smash that like button. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the panel. Yeah, let's get straight into this. Starting off with Netherlands. Let's have a look at their squad. No, let's do this. No, okay, that won't work. Let's just go.
Well, they're playing India soon, aren't they? Netherlands. They're playing India tomorrow, 9:30 UK time.
Yeah. So it's Netherlands.
Perfect.
Take this one away. But I'm just going to fetch my charger, and for the laptop. So in the meantime, I'm going to hand it over to Manny. Of course, your neighbours, Netherlands, in some capacity, England. They're probably the second best European team when it comes to cricket. But how do you see this one going? The squad of Netherlands.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's just as well that you're going to take a break because you probably wouldn't want to remember this particular team, given that several of these members were part of the.
No need.
Yes, and of course, a certain Rilla van der Merwe was a big part of that. And I actually am old enough to remember watching the Netherlands play in the 1996 World Cup, which was also held in India. And they had some decent players, including Tim de Leyder, Bastian de Leyder's father, and a certain Bastian Zuiderend, who went on to play in, I believe, 4 ODI World Cups for the Netherlands. And over the years, the Dutch team have had a habit of going over to England to play some club cricket and even county cricket. So several of these guys obviously are well familiar with the English county structure, and of course, had they played the last
Why not
tournament,
Van der Merwe plays for Somerset?
Well, that
Yeah.
Tender Scarter. Do you remember him? Tender Scarter. And he got a load of runs, didn't he? It's Tender Scarter. Remember him? Ryan Tender Scarter. Hello?
Manny? I think he's frozen.
He's
Yeah,
frozen.
he's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah.
I
Do
think
you remember
he's-
him, Ryan? Ollie?
But I've-
Do you remember him?
No, I don't remember him. No,
No,
Manny, I
you're
think
too
you had a
young,
bit of
mate.
technical
You're too
problems
young,
there.
isn't
You were
you?
frozen. You were
Yeah.
frozen there, Manny.
No, you're
yeah,
too
yeah.
young to
The
remember
reason
him.
why,
Yeah, I was born in 2004, Mr. B, so I'm probably too
Oh,
young.
yeah, of course, yeah, you're too
Yeah.
young, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Tender
yeah.
Scarter, he was a big...
Manny,
Yeah,
did you go to the
Yeah.
Cricket World Cup when it was in India? Did you go?
No, I didn't. I was actually living in the
Oh.
Middle East at the time, and I was watching it on
Oh,
the television.
right, okay.
And
Right.
you know, that at that time, of course, obviously
Whereabouts
India
in
one of the
Middle East?
favorites, and I was in Saudi Arabia, and so
Saudi
I was
Arabia.
able to watch it on the telly. And of course, England had a forgettable tournament, barely qualifying for the quarterfinals and being creamed by Sri Lanka. But this Dutch team obviously has come quite a long way since then. And of course, we can both all remember that they beat England, in fact, in T20 World Cup with the ex-Australian fast bowler Dirk Nanners playing a bit of a role in that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of these guys, I wouldn't exactly call them superstars in any sense of the word. Obviously, Scott Edwards, the Aussie, is very much the leader of this team, and very much one of the main players, wicketkeeper, batsman, and captain. And Vikram Singh at the top of the order is a more than a decent opening batsman, with the likes of Colin Ackerman, another South African, having come to play. And I would definitely say that this particular team could very well end up creating a shock or two. The only problem is, given that it's in India, this World Cup is taking place in India. For crying out loud, I always hate it when this happens. Most of these cricketers are not going to be well versed with the Indian supplemental conditions, and it will remain to be seen how well some of these guys will be able to play spin, especially when they come up against the likes of Bangladesh and India and Pakistan, whose spinners are obviously going to be expected to rule the roost. They will certainly fight. They are a very excellent, efficient unit, but I definitely don't see them doing enough to qualify for the latter stages of the tournament. But they do manage to pull off, which isn't impossible.
Oh God!
Handed to England in 2011 when it was also hosted in India.
Are you going to?
You just never know with this Dutch team. And, I don't know if I'll be able to go and watch the game. I know that there will be some games being played at the Chidambaram Stadium over here in Madras, but in all likelihood, Ollie, the tickets will be sold out. So there's no chance of me doing that.
Yeah.
But Mr. B, let's start with you. Why don't you? But that's not too bad. I've got an HD screen and really good commentary. Job's a good one, as we would say. So, Mr. B, what do you think about this Dutch team, and how well do you think they'll do? You're muted, mate.
You're muted, mate.
Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I was going to say I don't know much of many of these players, but I know obviously Wesley Baresi, crazy. I heard of him. He's been there a while, hasn't he? Played for them for a while. Been around. Van der Merwe, of course.
Yeah, I know him.
He's one of the more well-known. Max O'Dowd, I think he's Irish, isn't he? Well, with that name, it sounds Irish, doesn't it? But I mean, he's obviously in there. I know a few of these didn't they play in the what do you call it, IPL and stuff, didn't they? Some of them.
I think many of them would have played in the 100 as well.
Yeah, the 100, yeah. But they could be a surprise, another surprise outfit. You never know. They could beat some big team again. They're in England's group, aren't they, as well? Are they in our group?
No, there's the big league. Everyone's in the same league.
Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, right.
It's one big pool.
One
Yeah.
big league. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So everyone plays each other once.
Yeah,
Oh,
everyone
right.
plays the ones, yeah. So England are playing every team in the group, basically.
So
And is there like a quarterfinals after or something?
Yeah.
Straight,
Could they
straight
surprise
semi-final.
us again?
Top 8 or something, or top 4?
No, just top 4. Straight
Top 4.
semi-final.
Oh, right. And England are on alphabetical order 4th in the league, so that's a positive.
Yeah, could they surprise us again? That's the thing. They've done it before, haven't they?
The thing is, as well, England's first game is against New Zealand. If you remember, England beat
New Zealand,
in the World Cup. Yeah. I remember listening to that game in the car, and we won the World Cup. So.
Oh, that was brilliant, mate. Yeah, I watched it. I was watching it. You know?
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Incredible game, you know.
Yeah,
that super over was incredible, wasn't it? When it went
even
to
today, we
So
played well. England played well. Besto was incredible today.
Cheetos.
Yeah, one on was it Duckworth Lewis, wasn't it? One today.
Yeah.
Cheaters that day, England were. They were absolutely.
We're not cheaters.
You were. New Zealand should have won.
Okay,
anyway,
guys.
No,
Enough of the
we
banter.
won the game. We're not cheaters. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Enough's enough. Let's move on.
Yeah. Anyway, mate.
For Timo review.
Yeah, I think they're they could be another dark horse, another surprise here, Netherlands, but I don't think they go too far. They might just about get out of that group thing, whole league thing, maybe, I don't know. But looks a pretty good team, doesn't it? I suppose. So yeah, see how they go.
Yeah, Ollie, what do you think of them?
Yeah, so looking at the squad now, the only player I recognise is Van der Merwe because I'm obviously a Somerset fan. I was born and raised in Somerset. Actually born in Devon, in Exeter, but I moved to Somerset and I've lived here for 18 years now. And I remember Van der Merwe very well. He's a great cricketer, great at bowling, great at batting. So he's going to be a one to watch in the World Cup, I think. Apart from that, I don't really know anyone else from no, I don't really know anyone. Van Beek, sorry, I recognise that name. I've recognised Shariaz Ahmed as well. Apart from that, I think a lot of these I'm going to have to scout a lot because I don't really know the name of many of them. Van der Meeken, but yeah, the star player for me is Van der Merwe, Somerset player. I don't know if he still plays for us. I'm not quite sure, but he is a great cricketer, great at batting, getting the 6s and 4s, and great at bowling, getting some wickets as well. So for me, it's a decent team. I think Netherlands could surprise us in this World Cup. I don't think they'll win it. They could possibly make it to the quarterfinals or semi-finals, but I don't see Netherlands winning this. And I do, obviously, we're talking about England, but I do favour England to win it again. But we'll wait and see. But I don't think Netherlands might surprise us with the amount of good cricketers they have in that team. But as I said, Van der Merwe, brilliant cricketer. Be interesting to see when they play England. I'll be looking out for Van der Merwe. But apart from that, that's all I know really. I was born in 2004, so I'm 18, so I'm not really old enough to know many players in the past or present even. So I as Netherlands, I don't really keep up with Netherlands cricket or whatever. Obviously, some of them probably play county cricket, and you said some of them play in the 100 and stuff like that. But as I said, Van der Merwe is the only one that comes to mind. But decent team, and I think they'll surprise us in the World Cup.
Yeah, one notable absentee from the squad is the left-arm seamer Fred Klaassen, who was unable to take part in the World Cup qualifiers and also had his own county commitments. Certainly would have been quite useful on these pitches if he was able to get his bowling spot on. But apart from that, I mean, this is pretty much the bulk of the team that was there in the T20 World Cup. And obviously, several of these big players, including the captain Scott Edwards and Roelof van der Merwe, as has been mentioned, will certainly have roles to play in this tournament. But it's basically the top four that go through, and I do not see the Netherlands going through to the latter stages. But as I've said, if they can cause one or two shocks, they're going to really have a big say on who goes through to the semi-finals.
Yeah. For me, I think they've got some decent players, but again, I think, like I said, the conditions, I don't know if they will be really, if the style that they use will be suitable to the Indian pitches. So I think that they will do better than I think most people expect. But they won't shine the light up, light the tournament up. If I look at the other teams in it, I just want to have a look at the standings again. I think they could possibly give Afghanistan and Sri Lanka. I think those two games are probably looking at that and saying we can win. I think Bangladesh is a bit of a push, but that's also a team that they might look at beating. So I think there's three fixtures they're looking at that we should be able to win. I think also a big thing is with these smaller nations is they're usually better in the T20s than in the ODIs. So yeah, you'll see. But what do you guys reckon? Where will they finish? Where in the table? In the top 10? Where do they finish? I'm going 9th.
I'm going top 7. I think the highest they'll get is probably 5, but they'll be lucky to get 7. I don't think they'll finish bottom. I think maybe someone like Sri Lanka, maybe. I don't see them doing well, but for me, Netherlands are not going to do well. They might win a couple of games, they might lose. But I'll say 7th. I think they'll finish 7th.
7th.
Yeah.
Manny.
Sorry, man. Go on, mate.
They could possibly finish 8th above Sri Lanka and Afghanistan because I don't know if we're going to do Sri Lanka tonight, but Sri Lanka obviously, they did well to win the qualifier, beating the Netherlands in the process in the final. But I just think that obviously their team doesn't really look in good sorts. They've had a lot of selection issues. The Netherlands certainly could very well end up causing a shock by beating Sri Lanka and avenging that qualifying loss. Of course, a lot of us Brits might be disappointed seeing the Netherlands there because Scotland had a terrific chance to qualify, but it was the Netherlands who stopped that in their tracks. So the prospect of Scotland, so the prospect of Scotland playing England in the World Cup would have been wonderful. But I just think the Netherlands obviously had a lot more in terms of cricketing experience and nows and what have you. But hopefully Cricket Scotland can, take some positives and move on and try and get better. We're with you, laddies. Go strong.
And Manny, is it true that Wales don't have a cricket team?
Wales has a county team, but Welsh players have traditionally represented England. And I think the most well-known Welshman is a certain Robert Croft, who played about 21 tests for us as an off-spinner.
Matthew Maynard as well.
Yeah, he played a few internationals, but Croft is obviously the more popular one.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Must be, where do you see them finishing?
Yeah, I was going to say what Manny just said about 8th. I think they could get 8th as well because I think they could get up there. I mean they're a decent outfit. I mean, I think they can, definitely surprise a few again. Yeah, and I think they've been in it long enough, and I feel are they a proper Test nation now as well, Netherlands or not? Or they?
Oh no, they're
affiliated?
No.
No, shame really. I think they could do well in the test matches and that, but yeah, I think they'll get 8th probably.
They lost to Sri Lanka in the quarterfinals in last year's World Cup.
Yeah, well, they've done well in competition, so yeah, I think probably definitely 8th. I think they'll get.
Yeah. 8th. Moving on to Pakistan. KFC did ask us. Pakistan. Let's look at the squad. Of course, Iftikhar Ahmed, Babar Azam, Muhammad Wasim, Ashin Ali. I don't recognize him. Um, Imad Arak, Fakatar Zaman. Of course, this is, I believe, the keeper. Shataf. Uh, yeah, Manny, you need to help
Shafiq.
out.
Yeah. I've got you. So obviously, Iftikhar Ahmed is quite experienced. Babar Azam is the captain. Aga Salman and Abdullah Shafiq are relative newcomers, I would say. Imam ul Haq happens to be a relative of the Pakistan batting legend Inzamam, who of course
Inzamam, yeah.
came to prominence in 1992 with that blistering innings in the semi-final against New Zealand, and since then, of course, went on to become an absolute colossus for Pakistan. Quite a burly bloke. Definitely loved his food.
Yeah.
Very prone to getting run out more often than not. But when he could hit the ball, at times he even looked better than Sachin Tendulkar, and that's saying something. One big absentee from this squad, which was discussed earlier, I think, Mr. B, you might remember this, is Naseem Shah, the seamer.
Oh yeah, young guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so he obviously would have been expected to form part of the bowling attack along with Shaheen Afridi. And of course, they still have Haris Rauf, and Shadab Khan will provide some useful off spin. But if you take a look at the bowling attack, without Naseem Shah, it does look a little bit thin. And they're going to depend on the likes of obviously Mohammad Nawaz and Mohammad Wasim, the all rounders, sort of, to try and help out with the balance as such. But without Naseem Shah, their bowling does look a little bit weak. In terms of batting, they do have a strong batting lineup on paper, but the problem is they're very, very inconsistent. For a long time, people were depending on both Baba and Mohammad Rizwan, the wicketkeeper batsman, to try and provide partnerships, with Iftikhar possibly coming down a little bit lower in the order to try and help out. But it remains to be seen how well they'll do, and I think their consistency and their unpredictability will always be their undoing when it comes to tournaments, especially when you consider that this tournament will just be effectively all 10 teams thrown into one league. It makes it literally a dog-eat-dog league. And so, while in theory you may have some time to recover, there will be some games where if you face a heavy loss, it may really affect your confidence. Pakistan's first game, of course, will be up against the Netherlands at the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium in Hyderabad, and they'll be playing several. They'll start playing some of the big hitters before ending their campaign against England at the legendary Eden Garden Stadium in Calcutta.
Yeah.
And it will remain to be seen how well they can possibly do. And although in theory these guys do have knowledge of Indian conditions, it will remain to be seen just how well they can possibly do. You take a look at their warm-up match against New Zealand, for example, when they played. It was a case of basically one or two batsmen doing really well. I believe Rizwan scored a century, and another batsman got a score of 80, if memory serves me right, 80 odd. But they just weren't quite able to bowl out the Kiwis. And when you consider that, Kane Williamson came back in with his dodgy knee to score a half century, and Rachin Ravindra at the top of the order was tragically bowled out 3 short of his ton. Pakistan do have some concerns about their bowling. So it will definitely remain to be seen how well Pakistan can really. I mean, I just don't know if they can really get it together when it happens, but I think, Mr. B, you and I were talking about this.
Yeah.
You talk about how
Yeah.
they're often considered cornered tigers, and that spirit
Yeah.
got them to the summit in 1992. I think it's fair to
Yeah.
say that these that this Pakistan team enjoys pretty much being underdogs. They enjoy having their backs to the wall for some reason. Are they sadomasochists? I don't know. And confirmation, of course, it was Rizwan with a century, Azam with an 80, and the young guy, Saad Shakil, coming in and giving it a good bosh with 75 or 53. But when it comes to the bowling, obviously there was no Shaheen in the team, and the bowling attack lost a little bit of Shaheen, if you will, and they just weren't
Mr.
quite able
Shaheen.
to. Yeah, they just weren't quite able to get it together. And for me, I think a team like this, with its inconsistency, will struggle to qualify for the latter stages. Um, there's a part of me that thinks when we consider some of the big hitters like Australia, India, England, New Zealand, and South Africa, always in with a chance. I think they'll probably end up, just finishing mid-table. I'm going to go so far to say that they will finish sixth.
Sixth.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big disappointment for Pakistan. Um, my thoughts, I like Pakistan. It's just um, they um, they are like Brighton almost. Some days they turn up, other days they don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can beat what's it? United at home. Other day they lose 3-1 to West Ham at home. Um, so they are very inconsistent team. They will have the conditions on their side. I don't know where that match against India will be taking place, or will it be taking place without fans? Of course, that's a big rivalry.
That's going to be
But
on the 14th of October in Ahmedabad at the Narendra Modi Stadium.
yeah, we will see if there is crowds. Unsure.
Probably is crowds. Yeah, there probably is. It's a big
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah, but the thing is, Pakistan people don't like Indian people at all.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, but who are
deep-rooted
Pakistan
rivalry.
playing? They're playing
But
Netherlands, their first game.
yeah, that's their first game. But India Pakistan, that game we'll see what happens. But yeah,
Oh yeah, India,
I
Pakistan.
reckon if I look at all the
14.
other teams,
I'll just get my prediction on Pakistan. I'm going to get straight to the point. I think Pakistan will finish 10th.
oh my days,
You can't be serious, Ollie. I'm sorry.
Ollie,
Well, he's
this is
going
not
10th.
football.
I'm going 5th. I think that's where
This is
they're,
not
they're
football.
finished.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Probably somewhere like I'll go
The-
6th. I'll go 6th.
No, I think 5th.
Yeah, I'll go 6th.
They're well and
I-
truly capable of
I
getting
think their team's better than them,
through.
so I'll put them 6th. I think their team's better than Pakistan. And the only reason I said 10th is, as Hanno said, they're very inconsistent. I've looked at their past and they've lost their last 3 games. They beat Bangladesh, but then they weren't. I don't think they were even in the World Cup last year because I can't find. And they lost to Pakistan in
They
the
were,
warm up.
they were.
They were. Well, what did they do? I can't find if they were in. What they did. Did they win it? Did they? No, they obviously didn't win it.
No, they lost in the final.
Oh yeah, they lost in the final. No, they didn't lose in the final because England played New Zealand in the final.
No, oh yeah, but
Yeah.
this is ODI, the T20 World Cup. They lost.
Oh, that was the T20 World Cup. Okay, yeah. ODI,
Yeah.
they won it. But for me, I just think there's 5 teams better than them. I only said 10th because they're a bit inconsistent and they're a bit thing. But for me, I know Mr. B said 5th, and I agree with Chelsea fan on both what he said. I said Netherlands 7th and Pakistan 6th. I just think there's teams better than them. I think they won't get through. They won't do anything special. But 6th, I think they'll take that at 6th. They'll probably want 4th to qualify, but they'll take 6th. Anything below 6th, they probably won't take. But 6 above, there'll be a bonus for them. So 6th would be a reasonable finish for Pakistan, because I see teams that are worse and I see teams that are better than them. And putting a team 10th is purely because they're absolutely awful and don't win any of their games. So for me, yeah, 6th. And I don't know any of the players, by the way. I don't know any of them. I do know Shahid Bashim, who a player I actually met, and he's from Pakistan. He plays for Somerset, but I don't know if he's in the squad.
No, he's not. He's not.
No.
Nah.
Shabib Bashir.
I'm going to agree with Steve. I hate Mr. B. I think only reason why I'm putting them fifth is because I think um, they should be better than us and Bangladesh, which are the two teams after them, really.
Because when you
So,
look at that, they're capable of rolling most teams, aren't they? When you see that with their bowlers, they've got some fantastic bowlers, and they've even got some great batsmen as well, decent batsmen there. So I think they can well, you know, they're not going to get all the way through, but obviously I still think they're capable of fifth. So definitely.
Fifth's a decent. Fifth's a decent shout. Fifth's a decent shout.
Pakistan 6 says Chelsea fan. So let me just get the next team up, who is Bangladesh. We just speaking of that. So
More underdogs.
Of course, they rated eighth ODI ranking. Highest finish in a Cricket World Cup is the quarterfinals. I don't know, will they be quarterfinals? I don't think there is.
I'm just
Because
looking
it's
now.
10.
Yeah, they played a lot of Test cricket. They played against Ireland, England, India.
I don't think there is. Yeah, straight semi-finals.
They didn't make it through the group stage in the 2019 one. No, that was the T20. Sorry, yeah.
No, 2019 is the ODI. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, is the T20 every year?
No, every 2 years, isn't it?
Every 2 years.
Every
So
2 years.
How often is the Cricket World Cup then? Is it every 4?
The T20
every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
every 4 or 5 years.
T20 Cricket World
Probably
Cup
4
is
because
every
in
2 years.
In football, the World Cup's 4 years and the Euros 4 years, and then the Olympics is 4 years as well, and the Rugby World Cup.
The ODI is every 4 years. The T20 is every 2 years. So basically, the T20 is between
the T20 is more often. The only reason the T20 is more often because the games are shorter. So you play 20 overs each round. That is like what, 5 hours, maybe less. If you play ODI, is it 50 overs the ODI?
Yeah, 50 overs.
So if you think it's 50 overs each, that's probably going to last a day. If you think so, that's probably why it's every 4 years, because a game that lasts 5 hours compared to a game that lasts a day makes sense that the game would last. T20 is 2 years, and then the Cricket World Cup's 4 years.
Unless you get rain, which they had today.
Yeah, unless you get rain off. But
get limited overs then.
The worst rain one was in the Ashes where England's game got rained off. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Ollie. I'll speak on this and then we'll move on. Okay, we'll move on, because here's the thing. Obviously, when it comes to an ODI game or a limited overs game, efforts will be taken to make sure that the game is finished even when it rains. If, for example, a certain quota of overs have not been bowled by the time the rain hits and there's no chance of play continuing, then it will be abandoned. But then obviously, if games are shortened, then, you know, Duckworth and Lewis get to have their say and decide the fate of the match and the fate of the teams in the process. So you don't see teams being rained out. But we need to speak about the Bangladesh squad now. And you know, obviously they've been in the news recently about this whole controversy surrounding the omission of the experienced opening batsman Tamim Iqbal. Now, injuries have not been really good to him in terms of how he's been affected by them. And apparently there's been some sort of a controversy with the captain, Shakib al-Hassan, claiming that he's basically being selfish by not being willing to bat lower down the order for the sake of the team. Now, there are two ways to look at this. in theory, one would say that a batsman of Tamim's seniority and experience shouldn't really have any problems being willing to take one for the team, as it were. But then, all is said. It's sometimes easier said than done. And maybe Tamim felt as though opening was his better position. And
Yeah.
it's always going to be a shame when a batsman of his experience and quality doesn't make the squad. But again, if fitness and form dictate that he can't be picked, then you just have to accept it. And obviously, other names include ex-captain Mushfiqur Rahim, and Lisan Das is expected to also provide competition for Mushfiqur as a wicketkeeper, but
Mm.
also as a higher order batsman. The experienced Mahmudullah comes back into the squad, which is a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting him to be involved, and he's been around the block for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mustafiz Rahman, one of the leading bowlers. Of course, the days of Mashrafe Murtaza and Mohammad Rafiq, the left arm spinner, are
Mm.
now gone. So there is a bit of experience in the team, but a large number of players who probably a little bit, how would you say, wet behind the ears in a way. And so a lot will depend on Shakib as the captain and the main all-rounder who bowls left-arm spin and also is an exceptionally destructive batsman in the middle order. So he's captaining the team now, and he's still captain in all three formats. But it will be interesting to see if his ODI career continues after this tournament. One thing's for certain, he will certainly go down as his country's greatest ever cricketer in terms of wickets taken, runs scored,
Yeah.
and also just the general impact that he's had on his country ever since he made his debut. And both Mr. B and I are old enough to remember Bangladesh making their debut, although
Yeah.
obviously that was quite a long time ago, just after the turn of the 2000s. So all of those players will have long since retired anyway, and those are the guys
Mm.
on whose shoulders these players have ended up standing. So I don't know if I necessarily see Bangladesh doing very much in this particular tournament. And they are going to depend, obviously, on a few shocks. And I do seem to remember when Bangladesh dropped the veteran wicketkeeper Khalid Mashood from their squad, they actually managed to shock India and go on
Yeah.
to reach the Super Six stage, which was a prelude to the semi-finals. And that was obviously a terrific, occasion for Bangladesh in many ways. But although they've certainly looked great in the limited overs formats, they just haven't been able to really get their act together when it comes to tests. But of course, in one days, they're always going to be a threat. Having said that, though, the experienced guys are all on the wrong side of their 30s. Most of the youngsters are, extremely young in their early 20s. And there just doesn't seem to be too many people in that middle ground who can sort of help hold the team together. And if and when Shakib and Mushfiq or Rahim and Mahmudullah all retire, there's going to be a huge gap in terms of experience and quality and leadership. Najmul Hussain is the vice captain, bats at the top of the order. And I really don't see Bangladesh doing very well in this tournament. Even if they do manage to get a shock, I certainly see them possibly beating the Netherlands and maybe finishing seventh. But that's really as good as it's going to get for them, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I kind of agree with Manny. I think there's not the team they were. I mean, they still got obviously the decent spinners, really good spinners, as they've always had, and some fairly talented batsmen. Of course, the captain Shakib. So I think they're still capable of doing something, but I don't think they do that well in this. I think it'd probably be at least ninth. I reckon they get ninth, maybe.
Ninth, so
Wow.
you're not expecting him to do much there.
Yeah.
Of course, again, one of the underdog teams, Bangladesh, Shakib Al Hassan. Mustafiq Ryan and Linton Das. That's probably your top order there. Musa is probably the best bowler alongside Shakib Al Hasan. And then Mustafiq Rahim is decent. They've got a few decent players, but I think the quality isn't there um, to to play against the other nations. So I'm going to go for Bangladesh to finish seventh. I think they will finish above the Netherlands, Afghanistan, and Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they should have enough. They could maybe finish above us, but we should have enough to overthrow on them. So yeah, he's also got ninth. You guys don't rate Bangladesh. Manny, where do you put them?
I said seventh.
Seventh, same as me. Ollie.
For once, I'm going to agree with Mr. B. I think they'll finish ninth. I'm not going to put them 10th. That's a bit harsh. But I don't think they'll make the top four. They won't go through. I think seventh is a bit too generous for me. I don't. Obviously, they just lost to England. No, sorry, they didn't lose to England. Was it Bangladesh who lost to England today?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost to England today.
Couple of flurries.
Very
4 wickets.
inconsistent. They lost. They beat Sri Lanka, but then they lost in the series against New Zealand in the ODI. So for me, they're very inconsistent, a bit like Pakistan. So I don't like them because we beat them. So probably ninth. I'd say ninth. Wouldn't be surprised if they finished 10th, maybe. But as you said, I think seventh is the peak. Seventh is the highest. Anything above 7 would surprise me. But I'm going with ninth.
Ninth, fair enough. And then my nation.
South Africa. South Africa.
Severica.
Yeah, we go. Currently we our ODI ranking is fourth, which I am surprised about.
Yeah. But you lost to New Zealand in the warm up, didn't you? And the Afghanistan game got cancelled.
Yeah, we lost, but rain. It's because of the rain. What's going on? Fair enough. So Kahis Rodaba, world class bowler. Yes, sometimes he's off it, which is frustrating. Marco Janssen, he's got a shot, quality player, and will do absolute wonders in India, hitting that line and length. David Miller must do. We know what he does. I don't know if Bavuma is fit for the World Cup. I believe he should be, but it might be a doubt. But he's the captain. I don't really rate him highly, but he has done good in recent months. So yeah, Lungi Ngidi has also been in deserved this spot in this team. He hasn't been the best, but he's still up there. Um, of some of the
Clarkson, hero against Australia, wasn't he? Bashed a few against them,
Clarkson
didn't he?
again, like Miller, he's fine form at the right time. He hasn't always been the best, but he's fine to form at the right time. Quinton the Cock,
His last tournament, isn't it? Cock.
yeah,
His
last
one.
tournament, last tournament in an ODI shirt. I think.
Good player, great player.
Great player, has his off days, very inconsistent, but when it's on it, it's dangerous. Lizard Williams, I believe he has come in.
Great name, Lizard.
Big loss
Lizard Williams.
Lizard Williams, big loss. He's come in for Anrich Nokia. Of course, Anrich Nokia sustained.
Quick bowler, Nokia. That's a loss, isn't it?
Yeah, he sustained an injury. So very unfortunate that he isn't in the team.
Mm,
And then no, I don't want to do that. Trabesh Shamsi is going to be needed to be used, and Maraj in the spinning conditions. Both of them are really good spinners. I think Maraj is just better because I think economically is better. He builds up pressure better. Rossi Van Adessen is working um, on a shorter form of the games. Of course, he's a quality test player, but it takes lots of time to settle in. But he's now getting ready and sharpening his game. That's why I think he's been selected. If this was T20 Pro, wouldn't have been selected. But because it's ODI, you've got to have him in. Risa Hendricks, again, very decent batter. As his days where he's good, other days he's not. Aidan Markram, absolute rock of a batter. You
mm,
can count on him to provide you you with some good runs. Harold could see a youngster has appeared on the scene early now, and I'm very happy for him. He does some good stuff, but it's a youngster, so he will need to work on a few stuff. Dile Petlakwayo again also. Not the best of players. He is decent. Probably won't be in the 11 much, but yeah, he's got a good arm on him when he can, and he can bat
yeah,
well when he wants to.
yeah, you can, yeah.
Again, for expectations, I'm not expecting us to reach the semi-finals. It will be an absolute blessing, but I think teams like Australia, England, and India are better. New Zealand with Kane Williamson back and him picking
Mm,
up form, it looks good. So I don't know with that. Pakistan again, I think those two will battle them to for that fourth spot. I think Australia, England, and India are almost set for the top three. Don't know which order, but us three, New Zealand, Pakistan, and South Africa, us three are like, I think if you have to give it, it's probably New Zealand, Pakistan, South Africa, but never know result or day goes in our favor. Is a good thing, but one thing again. As always, we are very unlucky, and rain does not like us. Rain does not like us.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Rain hasn't liked you since 1992, it must be said.
Oh, yeah. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think we have a chance?
Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
do.
let me start over here. I think obviously I've had the pleasure of doing a lot of streams with you recently, where we were talking about South Africa, and that Australia series obviously saw them recover quite magnificently from 2-0 down to win 3-2. Yes, it was on your home turf and in your conditions, but I think the tenacity you showed was quite important. And one really important factor in South Africa doing a lot better ever since securing their qualification for the main draw of the World Cup by the skin of their teeth, as you know, Hanno, is the return to form of Aidan Markram. Um, I've seen a lot of limited overs matches and games where he never really looked at ease with himself, and I think he was struggling to find his role. But against Australia in the last three games, especially, I think he really stood up and made himself counted. And I know you're not a big fan of Bavuma, the skipper. Markram is, of course, his vice captain, but Bavuma does have a very good knack of being able to turn up with a good score whenever the team needs it. And as far as his tactics are concerned, I don't know if he's necessarily the brightest. I remember watching the fifth ODI where I think it was Mitch Marsh and Labuschagne who were going pretty good guns. Marsh in particular was swinging Klassen all the way to the backward square leg boundary for sixes, only for Janssen to have the last laugh and finish with a 5-wicket haul. So Janssen, of course, being a left arm seamer, a lot will be expected of him to try and, hit the deck and also get his lines right. Because the thing about bowling in India as a left arm seamer is that if you don't get your lines right, and I think I was talking about this with Mr. B, given that England have about 3 left arm seamers in our squad, if you don't get your lines right, you're asking for trouble. And I don't believe India have a single left arm seamer in their squad. I was expecting Arshdeep Singh to be there, but I don't think he's there. So Janssen will have a very big role to play. And as far as the spinners are concerned, Hannah, you know that I don't rate Tabriz Shamsi very highly. He is a little bit awkward in terms of his Chinaman bowling, and that will cause batsmen a few problems. But a left arm spinner like Maharaj will obviously have a bigger role to play in terms of keeping a much tighter line. I think Maharaj just has the ability to make sure that he gets his line right and keeps the batsman more on a leash. It is a bit of a concern that despite having 2 um, pretty good left arm spinners, there's no off spinner. So you might have to depend on one of the batsmen, maybe Miller or someone else, to provide some
I think
part-time off spin.
Markham is our almost third choice. Um, he can give the ball a spin.
Okay, that's an option there. And fella Quayo is listed as an all-rounder, but he's more of a seam bowler, I think. And the losses of Rabada and Norche are very, very big indeed. So I think a lot will depend on Janssen and maybe Hutze to really provide, and Ngidi as well. I can't forget him to provide that sort of that kind of urgency. Rabada as well. I cannot forget him. You do those seamers are good, and as long as I don't know about the quota system, but I mean there does seem to be a large number of coloured players in this squad, so you should be able to select a good compatible team which will also be well balanced. I don't see you playing Maharaj and Shamsi in the same team, for instance. It'll be one of them. One of them will invariably have to miss out.
I think we might see them in one of the lesser games, maybe against Afghanistan or Netherlands, just to see what happens. Because
Yeah,
some of the pitches again in India spin more than others. But
Mm.
again, having 20 overs of spin, that's a lot. That's almost half of your overs gone.
yeah,
So
and
yeah,
yeah, I would say if that's the case, then you probably might have to switch to share the bowling duties between Shamsi, Maharaj, and maybe another part-time spinner in that case. And you could possibly play both of them against England, perhaps, because
no,
notoriously,
no,
and I
no.
think
England have great players of spin. Won't do that. Won't do that. You have you guys play spin brilliantly.
well, isn't
The
that a nice change? I
Mm.
think Mr. B is old enough to remember that in the late '90s and early 2000s, we had players who couldn't who were like rabbits in the headlights when it came to the
Headlights. Yeah.
spinners. Yeah, so I mean, it's an
Toughness and all that.
improvement. I mean, as long as Root hits form, he's always a great player of all types of bowling. And then, someone like Livingston or even Harry Brook could
Mm.
come in and give it a good bosh in the end. We're talking about England later. But back to South Africa. I actually think you've got a pretty good squad. And on its day, if they perform really well, you guys do back quite deep and have really good options. And I'm going to make a big call here. I think, given the inconsistency that's been affecting New Zealand in terms of how some of their players have not been performing, I'm going to take a big punt here and say that South Africa could actually make the top 4,
Mm.
fourth position.
Possible. Possible.
Manny, if this happens, you are a legend if this happens. But yeah, Ollie, what do you reckon?
Yeah,
Um,
fourth for South Africa for me.
for me,
Mm.
I don't know much about the squad. Looking at the players, Van der Dusten sounds very South African. Andy Nock, Klesen. Yes, it looks like a good team, and I think you'll be happy with my prediction.
Mm.
I think you'll go through. I think at best you'll make semis. I don't think you'll make the final. Worst, you'll go through and go out in the quarterfinals. But I'm going to agree with Manny. I'm going to go fourth. I think you guys are going through. I'm going to go fourth at best. Worst, probably fifth, just missing out. But for me, nothing above a fourth, I think. But you'll take fourth on the seat. You're going through with fourth, so I'm going South Africa 4th.
Yeah, I would take 4th. Mr. B.
I mean, I know obviously most of those players, there are a lot of great players there. I don't know that Lizard Williams, is he an all-rounder or?
No, he's
William.
bowler, seam bowler.
Oh,
Where's
bowler.
William?
Oh, because I
yeah.
thought if he's a lower order batsman, you'll have a very long tail. Yeah, Lizard.
I think that's what I
Good
might.
one.
Hano, the Chelsea
Lizard.
Bodger's playing.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
waiting. I was waiting to get that joke in, because I just see, what a name, Lizard, and I thought I had to get the joke
Right.
in, But but no, I think you got a very, very talented team there and could go very far. I probably agree with the other guys there, Manny and Ollie. I'll agree with that. I think 4th as well for you. So
4th as well. So you guys reckon we do it? Enough.
Oh, by the way, I believe yesterday was his birthday, in fact, according to Cricinfo. So, belated happy birthday, Lizard. 30 years, 30 not out.
yeah.
So yeah, I've gone 6th. I think wait, where did I put Pakistan? But that means I think yeah, I think New Zealand aged 4th place. Yeah. But let's move on to the raining, the funding.
Hano, I have to go. Can I just
Okay,
say
no
my
worries.
prediction for this and then shout my socials?
Yeah, for Australia, where do you think they finish?
Australia. Gosh. Let me just say. I mean, Australia. They're a decent side. Definitely one of the favourites. I'm going to go second. Australia second. That's reasonable for them.
They're having problems at the moment, though, aren't they, Australia?
Yeah, they are. They've lost. Well, they lost South Africa in the test, and they lost to India. But they beat India, and then they got abandoned against Netherlands, and they've got Pakistan next, which is tomorrow. So be interesting to see if they can win that. So just have a look at the team. I don't really know any of those players. No. Yeah, but Hannah, I have to go for my dinner now. So is it okay if I shout my socials?
Yeah.
Yep. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, big up Hanno for having me on. You can catch me in a few other channels. RS Talks Football here on Coach's Corner. Big up Hanno. You can love to go on Mr. B's channel. I do watch his stream. Actually, I was on a stream with him, the Scotland watch along. Been on Villa TV, Del Boy Gunner TV, Nippon's channel, AFT Talk Show, a few other channels as well that I can't mention. If you want to catch me on my channel, Deidre Sinclair Oda there. I'm going to do a stream this week. I promise you guys, it's been about 2 weeks since I've done a stream, purely because I've just been quite busy with college and stuff. So Wednesday, hopefully a stream, and hopefully Manny can join that one because I know it's been a while. But yeah, Deidre Sinclair, make sure you watch my videos for public watch hours because then I can get paid from YouTube eventually. Like my videos, I've done a video recently about the Arsenal women's game that I went to yesterday, and then a stream coming out soon. Yeah, watch my videos. Basically, watch a video without skipping it. Instagram Ollie.Sinclair556 was my main account on the road to 1K. _Ramsdale fan page 1. I will be back on there soon, guys. I know a lot of you are demanding me not to delete it. I will be back soon when Aaron Ramsdale plays. If he plays against Lens, I'll do more content. But yeah, apart from that, Ollie7556 on TikTok, Deidre Sinclair 556 on Mixcloud, just uploaded a mix today. Deidre Sinclair on SoundCloud did a sped up song today as well, Strangers by Kenya Grace. So apart from that, that's it. Big up Hannah for having me on. Any other social, Deidre Sinclair on Twitter. I'm not very active on there, but I've only got about 10 followers. So go follow me on there, get me some more followers. And yeah, that's it. Big up Manny, big up Mr. B, and big up Hannah. And good night, guys.
Good night, Ollie.
Cheers, Ollie.
See you guys.
But Australia, like Mr. B said, they've got a few problems. And one big problem is that bowling attack. I think for them, Mitchell Marsh, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Marsh, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, Marcus Stoinis, he can give it a ball. Glenn Maxwell, Cameron Green, Sean Abbott, again, like a spinner. Adam Zampa, his quality. Glenn Maxwell, he can give the ball a turn, but
No Lion, though, is it? Need Lion
yeah,
there.
no line. But I don't think he really plays. I think it's on the test match. But again, Glenn Maxwell, is it really that type of bowler you want? But it is difference maker. Batting wise, Warner, Head will start with Warner. Labashine, Smith, Stoinis. I think they've got a good. They will bat deep. I think Australia will bat deep again. The quality side on that day they will turn up. I think it's just they don't know what's their best 11 right now. So it will be an interesting one. I'm I'm gonna go second as well. Second as well. Money.
Well, I think given their heritage and the fact that they always have the knack of being able to, turn up when it comes to these limited overs tournaments, they will reach the semi-finals. But that's probably as good as it's going to get for them. I'm going to have them finishing third. And as you mentioned, Hanno, the fact that they've only got one real frontline spinner in Adam Zampa, who has been, hit around the park quite recently, is a very big concern, because I do not really think that you can afford, if you're Australia, to go to a tournament like this with only one top spinner. You need at least 2 or 3. I mean, a 2 probably would be what I would recommend. So invariably, they're going to have to depend on the likes of,
Maxwell.
I mean, maybe Maxwell can bowl a bit. Maybe Stoinis can bowl. There are Green, of course, is more of a seam bowler, and there are some decent all rounders in here. But I just think
he can do swing.
Yeah, but I just think that the seam attack in particular. Don't forget Mitchell Marsh, who can also bowl a decent bit of medium pace.
Yeah.
But the attack, of course, is obviously going to depend on how well Mitchell Stark can bowl. Another left-arm seamer. He did actually take a hat-trick, mind you, against the Dutch before that match got, abandoned, I think. But if he gets it in the right position, and if he can get his length and line right, then he's an absolute, menace in every way. But it seems to me as though they're going to depend a great deal on him, because apart from him, you've got the captain, Pat Cummins, Josh Hazlewood, and maybe Sean Abbott, who are really only support cast bowlers and nothing more. And of course, Cummins' presence as the captain will probably leave a lot of permutations to be considered, because, for instance, a question will be asked: how low can you afford to bat to put Cummins in as batsman if you have to have a spinner in the team? And if Zampa doesn't get his length or line right and gets hit around the park, then that could be a very big problem indeed, especially when Australia come up against teams that will, be well adept at playing spin. At least in terms of batting, they've shown quite a bit of consistency. Steve Smith and David Warner and others have played themselves into form, and Maxwell can also be counted on to do quite well. If Travis Head comes into the team, he can certainly give it a good hit. And, Mitchell Marsh, of course, has had a new lease of life as a limited overs cricketer. I think it could very well be that Cummins might resign as limited overs captain to let Mitchell Marsh take over the job on a more permanent basis. But with regard to the bowling, it could very well be that Cummins might end up being able to bat no lower than 6th or 7th to accommodate Zampa. And so the permutations are going to be a problem. And how will spin come into this? I think they will find a way to end up winning a lot of their games and finishing high up in the table. And obviously what happened to them against New Zealand in the home T20 World Cup should not be allowed to happen to them again. But I think they will finish third, but they're not going to make the final.
Yeah. So you're going to be up yourself, Bargav. I need to get in contact with you. Maybe we can get you on a few of these streams. So yeah, I'll get in contact with you. But so you're going third. So you reckon possibly England and India finish above them.
Yep.
And then Mr. B.
Yeah, I think they're in a bit of a state, Australia, and I mean, I'm quite enjoying that, to be quite honest with you. Seeing them in the right 2-8, at the moment. So, because they shit on us enough times when they were beating us and everything, and humiliating us most of the time. So I think it's great that they're in this state now, and I actually don't think they're going to get to the semis. I think they'll probably be something like 6 or something, or whatever. I don't think they're going to get there. I know they've got some great players, and on their day they could probably do something as usual. I think this might be Warner's last tournament, isn't it? Possibly, could be his
Yeah.
last
Yep,
one.
definitely.
And I just think they're in the they're not the normal Australia at the moment. So I got a feeling they're going to be out of it. I don't think they get to the semis. So
Big call. Big call by
yeah,
Mr. B.
going
I
for a
don't know
shot,
if
mate.
that's bias speaking. But he's put Australia in sixth. Well,
Yeah.
but we'll wrap it up there then. And then next week
Oh
we'll
yeah,
discuss
India and all that next
Afghanistan,
week.
England, India, New
Mm.
Zealand, and Sri Lanka, and then of course giving our first week, um, predictions. And Balga saying Australia should reach the semis. Too much experience. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we will end off. Yeah. We're on 499. So if you have a friend that hasn't subscribed to the channel, do tell him to subscribe. So we, of course, 2 people unsubscribed from last night. So you can leave. But yeah, we basically there. So yeah, be up yourselves, people, and yeah, we'll see you all. Oh no, I can't say that. I need to give Mr. B a shout out.
Oh right,
Yourself.
okay, mate. Right, cool. Obviously my channel is doing well again still at the moment. Mr. B Hive Football Chat at Mr. B for Life 182. And so everything's going pretty well with that. Obviously, I tried to do my stream today, it didn't quite work out. The reaction to our draw with Nottingham Forest, so that's coming out tomorrow. And then obviously, I'm still trying to get that the history of the bees out soon. I keep meaning to do it, and obviously other things have taken over. But that will be coming out, people. So please just be patient. It will be out. And obviously be on a few other channels at some stage as well. Other streams like Hanno's, of course, and other people. So come on, you bees.
Manny, your
And,
socials.
yep, from Mr. B, we once again come to Mr. T.
Mr. T. Yeah.
And as usual, I'll be the fool who doesn't subscribe to this channel. I keep having to do that. It is rather. Well, maybe not for you, mate, but for other people it might. Yeah, catch me over here on the Coach's Corner. Also catch me on several other channels on YouTube: Delboy Gunner TV, Oris Talks Football, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, where we do some watch-alongs together for the European games that Arsenal play in. Up the cherries in all departments, the Bournemouth fan channel, for whom I join with I joined Craig Beasley to do some cherry picking videos, which are always good fun. And a big shout out as well to AFC Talk Show TV, Villa TV, Eugen Spurs Asia TV, and Also, Mr. B for Life, big up to him, big up to Ollie and their channels, respectively. I remember coming on Mr. B's channel for the England watch along, if memory serves me right. And yeah, England Scotland, I remember. And
That's right. Yeah.
also the Southern Gooner, Matt Odom. Uh, been on a few streams with him, quality fella. Do please check out as well Warren's team talk with Warren Bartholomew. One of his videos is basically him interviewing me about my life as a football fan ever since I was growing up in the UK, and obviously, you know, watching on the telly back in those days before Sky came in and monopolized everything, and several other channels at the moment which I just really can't remember or name at the moment, but each channel is really important to me, and I'm always happy to come on, and I'm always happy to conduct myself well, and I believe it's important that we conduct ourselves well on these streams. We need to learn to respect one another, and if we can't agree to disagree without being disagreeable, there's no point in having a discussion. Let's be good to one another and treat people the way we would like to be treated. And of course, it is Black History Month in the UK. So big shout out to all the black cricketers who've, I mean, we've had the honour of seeing them play for England over the years, and there will certainly be a few. I think, I don't know if there might be, I don't recollect if there may be any currently in the England squad right now, but I know that Joffre is a travelling reserve, and he was one of our key players in our 2019 campaign. We got some good sporting action coming up this week. More World Cup warm-ups, and of course the main tournament proper will be starting on the 7th of October. So do look out for that. Do watch that. Some more football tonight, of course. Hannah's locked Chelsea. Huh?
Yeah.
Fifth. Ah, okay. Okay, so do look out. Yeah, also some football action tonight. Hannah's lot are heading over to Craven Cottage for a West London derby. I'm predicting a 2-1 win, and hopefully if that happens, that'll keep me in Mr. Trollope's good books. Champions League football, of course, coming up later this week. Do catch on up for that. Cup with that. Apart from that, just enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe, stay happy, do whatever it is that makes you happy. Don't do anything that Mr. B or Hannah or I wouldn't do. But for now, as always, it's goodbye to thee and farewell to you.
Yeah. You guys know where to find me. Instagram, _coach_corner. Twitter, 70830030. Then TikTok, coach1. Do follow the TikTok. Yeah, we will be back tomorrow with a few watch alongs. Yeah, with a watch along. Don't know to which game. And then also on Wednesday we'll do this show. So yeah, do make sure to hit that subscribe button and like button if you haven't already. We are out.